and welcome to another episode of It's Been Real. I'm Sarah.
I'm Coder.
And this is another episode of the CODEX.
By the way, I love that name.
Thank
I absolutely
you.
love that name.
Thank you. It's where I sit with Coder and we watch a movie that he has never seen before. And then we talk about kind of his thoughts on the movie. So, last episode we actually drew from the jar, and we had gotten 007 GoldenEye.
Yes.
So, a little, not synopsis, but a little info dump on it. It came out in 1995. It is the first Pierce Brosnan James Bond. So, of course, it's going to star Pierce Brosnan as 007, James Bond. You have Famke Janssen. She plays Onatopp.
Gotta love those James Bond names.
Yes. You have Isabel. I'm going to say her name wrong. I do apologize. Isabella Scorupco. I don't know. She plays Natalia. Sean Bean. Judi Dench. And Alan Cummings. Right now, currently has a 7.2 on IMDb, a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I believe it's certified fresh, and then a 65 on Metacritic.
That sounds more accurate.
Yes. So, yes. Do you want to take it away? How did you feel about this movie?
Okay, so first off, I do have to say, I really do like the James Bond movies.
Yes.
Both the old ones, the new ones with Daniel Craig. I really do enjoy them.
Yes.
But it has been a while since I have watched a James Bond movie that was not a Daniel Craig James Bond.
Yes.
And, oh boy. The amounts of camp in this movie has filled me for like a month.
Yeah, like, I personally have never been a big fan of James Bond. My stepdad is a huge fan, so he has all, like, the collector's editions of it. He has every single James Bond film that's ever been released. I kind of really got into it with Sean Connery. May he rest in peace. And I thought he was my Bond. I really liked him. I was 4 when this movie came out, so obviously, again, I am not the demographic for this movie.
Neither of us are.
Neither of us were ever the demographic for this movie, but this is actually the movie that I was introduced to James Bond with because Nintendo 64's GoldenEye video game is what my brother played on repeat.
Yeah, you know, I was really surprised. Movie started up and all the guards didn't have rocket launchers. I mean...
And they didn't have, like, gigantic heads. But, yeah. So, let's talk about this fucking movie.
Alright.
I have some trivia for you, too, and I'll just, like, input it, like, whether or not it's what you're actually talking about. I'm just going to be like, oh, did you know?
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, the movie, it's, if you have seen a James Bond movie that is not a Daniel Craig James Bond, those definitely have that more gritty realism. I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, if Barry hasn't cut it out, that, you know, the older stuff, you know, the Sean Connery and the other actors who I unfortunately just do not know,
yeah,
they, you know, they full on leaned into the camp.
Yeah.
There were no serious plot point in those movies. There was no emotional attachment. No. It was camp for the sake of camp, which has its place.
Yes.
Daniel Craig was gritty realism.
Yeah.
Has its place. Pierce Brosnan tried to be both.
So, fun fact about this. So this script in general, GoldenEye was actually the very first James Bond film that was not based off of the James Bond books.
Really?
Yes, this was the very first original.
That's a lot of...
This is the very first original script that they wrote for the James Bond installments.
That means there was a lot of those books.
Oh yeah. At the time that the script was being written, because this movie was in, like, production hell for a little bit. At the time that it was being written, the producers of it actually assumed that Timothy Dalton was going to be coming back as James Bond. So it was written to match Dalton's more darker, realistic portrayal of James Bond. So there was a lot of rewrites that had to be done when Timothy Dalton was like, I'm too old for this shit. So yeah, there was that.
Yeah. But no, as far as the camp, there was just between the one-liners and the fucking tank busting down a wall and chasing down a military convoy in the middle of Russia.
Yes.
Like, there were no words. I think my reaction was appropriate.
Yes. Oh, it was brilliant.
And what was great is you were laughing so hard that Barry comes out of the other room. It's like, is it the tank scene? It's the tank scene.
Yes, it's the tank scene. It is the scene. So the beginning of the movie, if you remember.
Yes.
You had James Bond obscured, so you didn't see who was actually playing him. Bungee jumping.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So that is actually the highest bungee jump from a structure in a movie. So I found that one out and I was like, ooh, that's a really interesting tidbit. But you lost it. Like, not even 10 minutes into this movie, he bungee jumps off a structure, then uses a grappling hook to, like, pull himself towards, like, an opening, and you just went, why?
No, because all you have to do, it's a much simpler procedure, and there's a lot less risk of it going wrong.
Yeah.
You rappel down the side of the building.
Yeah.
That is military procedure. Military doesn't grab bungee cords, latch them onto something, and hope they stay in place.
You're putting way too much thought into a James Bond film.
I know.
I thought it was hilarious that, like, you saw Sean Bean.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert,
The Undying.
For a movie that was made in the 1990s, Sean Bean in the very beginning of the movie gets shot, and you were like, well, I guess that's the end of Sean Bean's thing.
Well, it was a little bit more than that. Sean Bean walks onto frame, and him and Pierce Brosnan are having the conversation, and it's like, haha, it's Sean Bean. Can't wait to see him die.
And then, and then a little bit later,
it's probably like half an hour later in the movie.
He walks out of the shadows, and you were like, "What the fuck?" He survived that. So he makes reappearing roles later on in the films, and I'm just like, sure. I'm like, sure he does.
I mean,
he's going to be the overarching nemesis for James Bond in all of the Pierce Brosnan films.
I'm sorry, it's Sean Bean. He was killed the first time, but he didn't actually die. I had hopes that he wasn't gonna die.
Yeah, no. that is not a thing. There's just so much I want to talk about with this movie. There's just so much, because, like, I remember, before we pressed play, I remember bits and pieces of the movie from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching it, and I went, I don't remember anything from this movie, apparently, because I was, like, watching it for the first time, and I was just like, oh my god. This is problematic.
Oh, yes.
I was like, oh no.
So problematic.
No. The fact that you had Framke, we're just gonna call her on a top. So she gets off on people dying, and I didn't realize that was a thing. And then, like, as I'm watching, I'm thinking, how could my family let me watch this?
It's
like a 10-year-old.
And it's not like it's a subtle thing.
No.
It's not a subtle thing.
She has an O face.
Eyes rolling back of her head, mowing down scientists in a lab.
Yeah. Like there was some WAP on that. There's some...
Bring a bucket and an Uzi.
Oh, Jesus Christ. But that kind of transitions a little bit into Alan Cummings' character, which is a nerdy, horny programmer who all of his code names are innuendos for either breasts or ass.
Yes. Honestly, easily the thing I had the most issue with this entire movie. So the reason my name is Coder is I'm a software engineer. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And so anytime I watch movies, especially from this beautiful, beautiful period, people are talking about computers or any form of technology like that. Yeah. They know just enough to sound way more stupid than if they knew nothing at all.
What did Natalia say that you were like, oh, she's packing? Like, there was something about, like, RAM drive or something like that.
Oh, yes.
Ordering a computer.
They were buying computers.
Or wasn't like she was buying it. She was like,
She was ordering a bunch of computers for like a building or something.
Yeah.
And she's listing off specs, and she lists off a 500 megabyte hard drive.
Yeah, and you were like, whoa, big spender there. And I was just like, I'm like, me, who is completely illiterate with computers, other than like, I can get on the internet. This movie did not age well at all. Oh my god, there was just so many. But the one part of the movie, and it's an insignificant part of the James Bond film as a whole. They had Minnie Driver in this movie for like maybe 5 minutes, and she's singing "Stand By Your Man."
Yes, I remember you pointing this scene out.
This woman.
Rant alert.
This woman is a classically trained singer. This is now the second movie I have seen her in, Phantom of the Opera being the first one, that is basically like, yeah, like we know she sings really, really well, but let's like make her sound absolutely shit in both these movies. Like, she just doesn't know how to sing. But I guess there's like a talent in actually singing well and then just singing badly.
Yeah.
But yeah. I was like sitting there, I'm like, she can sing. She can actually sing really well. Like,
no, all I was thinking during that scene is, a classic Western song in a Russian accent. That's upsetting.
This movie was super Russian, and I loved it. This movie had a budget of $60 million, and it box office made $352 million.
So yeah, about 5 times its budget.
Oh yeah, this was the most successful James Bond movie since Moonraker, which came out in 1979. Oh, so in the beginning of the movie, when they were having like the foreplay car chase between Pierce Brosnan.
Yes.
So apparently, Framke, she actually did the majority of the driving herself.
Really? That's actually very impressive. Granted, they probably filmed it. They probably drove at like 30 miles an hour. And
you know what? It doesn't matter. She did it, and that's all that matters, right? Her whole character is interesting to me. Just for that, like, she has to do, like, probably, like, 500 squats every day in order to squeeze the life out of a man.
Oh, that
she can step on me.
Nuts.
This woman can step on me, and I don't care. Like, she was, like, at one point, like, she was, like, biting people's lips until they bled. She, like, licked people's faces, like, licked the sweat off. And I'm just like, you are just... Yes. You're just a bit too much, but I like it. This movie was actually in memoriam at the very end of the film. It's like all dedicated to a man named Derek Meddings. So he actually did all of the model work, like for like the planes and the cars and stuff like that, and the things that like blew up, because it costs a lot of money to blow up big things. So you get a model of it, and you just blow it up with like a smaller set of explosives. And he had died like right before this movie premiered. Sure. So he worked heavily on James Bond and Superman, and I thought that was really cool that they like added like, hey, thanks for, making all the things that we could blow up, because without it, we wouldn't have an interesting movie.
We wouldn't have things to blow up, and we want to blow things up.
We want to blow things up. I really liked this movie a lot. It was not my favorite James Bond film, because it gets ridiculous later, and I cannot wait for you to watch the other ones. Because, like...
Oh, wait, there's more James Bond movies in that jar?
Oh, I put them all in the jar. Because I really want you to watch the shit-tastic one of, I think it's Tomorrow Never Dies.
Is that another Brosnan?
Yes, I think that was the last one, in which Halle Berry is in it. All of the titles run together, and I don't know which one's the Bond girls anymore.
No, I know. Dr. No is the only, aside from the Craig ones, Dr. No is the only James Bond movie that I can say, oh, that is one I have seen. I have seen multiple others.
But you just don't remember the names?
I don't remember the names. I don't even remember the plots.
Oh, Oh no!
They just string together so much. They're so formulaic, but they're so good.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about this installment of James Bond?
So as I said, there were many issues I had with the hacker character.
Yes.
That the Russians had. But the one thing that he did towards the end of the movie that I related to so much so on a spiritual level was when he grabs the monitor for his computer, shakes it, and just goes, "Speak to me!" I do that like 3 times a week.
Yes, that was hilarious because I was just like, oh, it's so realistic. I am picking 5 things from this jar. You are going to pick one of them.
Yes.
All right. Which one would you like?
Let's do the blue on your right.
This one?
Yes.
So number 4. Are you ready?
No.
Are you ready?
No.
Ooh, this one's a good one.
Oh, what is it?
It's not like we're past the spoopy season, but we're
Okay.
going to be watching Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I think do
you remember which one the Friday the 13th is?
Not a clue.
Oh my god, hold on. Let me bring it up for you.
Is that Voorhees? Is that Jason?
Yes, that is Jason.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to bring up a couple things for you and tell you why you're really going to love this movie.
Oof, that Metacritic score.
Yes. Oh, it has a 22% on Metacritic. It was released in 1980, directed by Sean S. Cunningham. It is about a whole bunch of campers setting up camp for summer. So they're basically
fucking,
as teenagers do.
As teenagers do.
But it's basically like a whole bunch of counselors are setting up a summer camp in like the woods, which is Camp Crystal Lake. And then they all start dying in horrible, horrendous ways. And do you know anything about this movie other than it's Jason?
I think it's this one where in this movie it actually isn't Jason, but it's Jason's mom?
God damn it.
Okay.
Well, to be fair.
To be fair.
The ending is ingrained in cinematic history. So it's kind of like in Sixth Sense. Like, you know the ending to Sixth Sense because it's so ingrained in
Or the
pop
ending of
culture.
Psycho.
Or the ending of Psycho. Yes, that is ingrained in pop culture. So yes, I know that the ending has been ruined for you. But it is the journey of Friday the 13th that you need to go on because it is so good. It is my least favorite out of the slashers. But at least I get my Kevin Bacon.
So now here's the question.
Yes.
Do we want to watch which one is it? I think there's one where Jason goes into space.
Jason X.
Yes. We'll watch this one, the one that's serious, the one that's aware
No.
of...
You have to watch everything that follows because you don't deserve Jason X until you watch all of the garbage that leads up to it. And that, my friends, is where we will leave off this episode. Do you have any final words, Coder?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on my on Twitter at Stoner Midnight. I've been recently been watching some anime and just kind of tweeting about it, thoughts about it as I go on.
Are you saying that eventually we're gonna have you, me, and maybe my friend Lady Ami on to talk about anime?
Oh, 100%.
Yes! Gotta get those weebs in for those views. But yeah, I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. And you can always find me on Twitter, kind of, maybe, possibly. I don't post on it as much, but I am at Scriptworthy. And yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of it.
It's been fun.
It's
been real.
It's been real. Bye, guys.